Welcome to today's session. This is a speed and agility session, and it is designed to be incorporated into your field session. The format for today's session will be a warm-up that will warm you up for the speed and agility session and the remainder of the session, followed by a speed and agility unit. Sorry, that just sounds messy. I'll start that again. Welcome to today's session. This is a speed and agility session, and it is designed to be incorporated into your field session. The format of today's session will be a warm-up, followed by a speed and agility unit, then on to a technical skills unit, and finished up with a cool down. So to start off today's session, we're going to have Jake demonstrate the warm-up here. And this warm-up is designed to get you warmed up for linear speed work that we will be doing in the speed and agility unit. So we're going to start off, we're going to work across here about a 20 to 30 meter space and then work across around 10 meters for some aspects of it. So you will need about a 20 to 30 meter space here for this. And the first exercise we're going to start off with, nice and simple, is just a 50% jog across the 20 to 30 meters. So Jake will get you started on that. Good, so nice and easy, just getting that heart rate up. Good, pausing it at the top and repeating that back down again. So 50% jog twice. And now we'll take it on to the A skip movement. Okay, so Jake's going to demonstrate that for us now, just across about 10 meter space. Reminder on this, getting the knees up and the toe up, opposite arm and leg action. Good. Nice strong movement, keeping that torso strong. Across 10 meters, pause, turn it around, and 10 meter return. Again, nice and strong with that movement, knee up, toe up, strong arm action. If you're a little bit confused with this movement, you can take it back to the A march drill. Okay, Jake's going to demonstrate the heel cycling motion now. I've also called this the knee up and over movement. So this is replicating that movement that you will do in the running movement, the linear running mechanics. So Jake, you're getting that heel up underneath the back side and keeping the toes up in that cycling movement. Good. Keep the toes up. Perfect. Okay, so I prefer you to use this movement rather than that heel kick up behind because it works nicely with the linear speed mechanics. Okay, so let's repeat that again, Jake. So across 10 meters twice. Good. Okay. Let's take it to a stretch for the hamstring. So we're going to do a high hamstring kick here. You're going to kick high to the opposite leg, again across 10 meters. When you're ready, Jake. Good. Kicking up to that opposite hand. You can see here Jake's raising onto the ball of the foot on the opposite leg. Perfect. Get that little bit of a warm up for the calf as well. And getting that nice long kick for the hamstring. Perfect. Okay, and instead of now repeating that back, we're going to do a straight leg bound movement here. So kicking the legs out straight in front with that opposite arm and leg movement. And I want you to drive to the ball of your foot here to get ready for that acceleration motion. So when you're ready, Jake, kicking the leg out in front, toes up, drive to the ball of the foot. Perfect. Good. Okay, let's take it back to working across our longer space, 20 to 30 meters, and let's build up to a 60% run. When you're ready, Jake. Good, okay, let's take that percentage up again, now to 70% on the way back. Good, okay, Jake, I'll get you to walk over here to the center. We're now going to work on some activation and mobilizing movements for our warm-up. First exercise we'll do here for this section is a reverse lunge and knee raise, and we'll do that with the overhead reach as well. Okay, so planting one foot in front. On the pitch, you'll likely be doing this in your boots, so make sure you've got a nice flat surface. Dig your studs in, get that nice strong front leg stance position, and then backward lunge from there. So Jake, when you're ready, we're going to do 10 repetitions here in total on a reverse lunge to knee raise. So let's just see that with that arm movement up and overhead. Good. Squeeze to the glute and drive the knee forward. Perfect. Now, if you're finding this movement a little bit difficult, you can take that overhead reach out of it. If you can't throw it in, do try, because you'll open up the hips nicely. So by reaching up and overhead, you'll open up the torso, and you'll open up into the hips. Try not to lean back with this one. And make sure you get that squeeze of the glute as you drive forward onto that stance leg. You can see here Luke's getting a little bit of a raise up onto the ball of the foot as well. Again, an extra little activation here for the calf. If you're finding that your stability is challenged a little bit too much with that, you can take that out. Good. Okay, let's switch legs, Jake. Planting that left foot in front. Make sure you've got a nice stable foot stance position. If you lose balance like that, just catch yourself with the opposite leg and repeat when you're ready. So stepping back, opening up, trying to get that nice 90-degree angle up both legs, and then squeezing through the glute on the front leg as you drive up in front. Take out the arm reach, take out the raise onto the ball of your foot if you find that the stability is challenged a little bit too much. Good. Squeeze to the glute. Work on that balance. Good. Nice, strong movement with each rep. Okay, let's take it on to an activation for the core here. And we're going to also incorporate in here a leg extension movement just for further activation of the glutes. So Jake, when you're ready, I'll get you down into plank position. This is one that you'll be familiar with from some of the previous units. Squeezing through the glutes, raising one leg, alternating, and keeping that leg straight, keeping the toes pointed down. So the movement here is coming from the hips. Make sure that you don't raise the hips up as you do this movement. Keep a nice, strong plank position, core nice and strong, and just open up at the hip, one leg at a time. Just 10 repetitions in total on this one, squeezing the core to get that core activation as well. Good. Okay, so we don't want that heart rate to lower down too much, so let's take it back to the first cone again. We're going to repeat our movements across, or come back to our movements across 10 meters. And we're going to work on the high knee skip movement now. So now we're looking for explosive movement, driving up off one leg, and bringing the opposite knee high in front, getting that opposite arm and leg movement. So let's have a look at that, Jake. Explosive on this, driving through the toes, squeezing through the glute. Good. Looking for height and not distance, and let's repeat that back again. Twice across around 10 meters. Good. As much height as you can. Perfect. Okay, so that's getting our vertical power. Now we're going to work on the horizontal power. So we're going to work on that horizontal jump or broad jump movement. And working across 10 meters here again, I want you, Jake, to jump as far as you can and clear the 10 meters in as few jumps as possible. So really looking for some nice power on this movement. So now using that counter movement. Good. Dropping back into that squat, swinging the arms back, driving forward. Good. So Jake, try to get as low to the ground as possible. Really clear as much distance as you can. Perfect. Okay, we're just going to do that once, but keep an eye on that over the next couple of weeks and try clear that same distance in fewer and fewer jumps as you gain more strength and power on that movement. Okay, the next exercise is going to be a forward hop movement. You're just going to do 3 hops here on each leg, so make them good quality hops here. So Jake's going to demonstrate this, balancing on one leg. You're going to get a hop and stick, pause before you jump, and hop to stick again. Good, so get that stick, sink down into it. Flexion through the ankle, the knee, and the hip to catch your balance, and then hop to stick again. Good. If you lose your balance, catch yourself, reset, and go again. So just 3 on the right, 3 on the left for this one. And as I said, because we're doing so few here, make it good quality ones. If you feel like the quality wasn't so good, just do a couple extra. Just get that balance right on the movement. You want a nice strong extension on the hop, and then you want a nice catch, sinking into the ankle, the knee, and the hip on that one, challenging your balance. If you find that you're not getting control over the movement, just shorten the hop a little bit more. You don't need a big explosive jump here. But if you're gaining good control over this, then you can extend that distance a little bit more. Okay, we're going to finish off this warm-up with a 20 to 30 meter run now, building up to 80% pace, and then finally 90% pace. And then in the main phase, we'll start working on the 100%. Okay, so Jake, just 80% run across 20 to 30 meters. Good, and I'll get you to take a walk back. So as you're doing this on the field, once we get to 80 to 90%, I'd like you to take a walk back, let yourself recover a little bit, and then we'll build it up to 90%. When you're doing the 60s and 70s earlier, you can do 60 and then follow it back with 70. Okay, so finishing up today's warm-up with a 90% run now. When you're ready, good, nice and strong. Good, okay, and we've got that deceleration as well. That's something I didn't mention, incorporating in the deceleration on that last 80 and 90% run. So that's it for today's warm-up. We're now going to take it on to the speed and agility unit. So today's speed and agility session is going to be focused on linear speed mechanics, and up to now we will have built up to 100%, and we've started to introduce reactive work. So today's session is going to be a little bit more reactive, still involving our accelerations, decelerations, and now we're going to add in another component where we're working from the ground, just to influence that low body position, and also just add another component into the drill so that you're having to react a little bit more. So the first drill that we're going to work on is the acceleration, deceleration, re-acceleration drill that you would have performed in the previous block, but now we're going to introduce the lying down position. So you're going to be reacting from that lying down position. So the coach here should use visual reaction, because that's what we're doing on the field. We're reacting visually. So a nice thing here is to use either the football or the slitter or the hurley, and have the players react on that. So it's a good idea here to have each player, just to make sure that they're getting that rest time, to do it one at a time, and then take a walk back for their recovery and wait their turn to go again. And then we can start entering in some partner work, just to make it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more fun, a little bit more applicable to what we're doing on the field. So as we did in the previous block, we're going to react with the ball going up to accelerate forward, drop it down to decelerate, and up to re-accelerate again. So Jake's going to demonstrate this, but he's going to do it from a lying position. So once that ball goes up, Jake's going to pop up from a lying position, try and maintain a nice low position, accelerate forward. Once he sees the ball drop, he's going to decelerate with that nice strong deceleration position. And once he sees the ball go up again, he's going to re-accelerate, okay? So Jake ready? And when he's in that lying position, he's going to be fully on the ground. And when you're doing any of these drills from that lying position, you want to make sure that you're fully on the ground. You're not prepping yourself for that run by pushing up off the arms or getting the leg up and out to the side. You're flat on the ground with the chest. So Jake's going to react here to accelerate, decelerate, and re-accelerate. Perfect, good, okay. Nice mechanics there on the acceleration, the deceleration. You can see from that low lying position, Jake stayed in that low position, and you get a nice strong acceleration then forward for that. So you can perform 1 to 2 repetitions there on that drill, and then if you'd like, you can add in a partner component to this, just to, again, influence a little bit more reactive work, make the drill a little bit fun. So how you can do this is through a partner chase exercise, and this now can bring in a bit of change of direction into it as well. So you can use a bit of space on this, where the leader is dodging and changing directions, trying to not let the chaser catch them, basically. So myself and Jake are going to demonstrate this here. It's a very similar exercise. You don't now have the reaction on the acceleration, deceleration. You're reacting on your partner. So Jake's going to be the leader here. He's going to be lying down. I'll be the follower, and you want about 1 meter space here from the feet of the leader to the head of the follower. So make sure you get about 1 meter space here. And I'm going to be reacting purely on Jake here. So he can take his time, he can go straight away, whatever he wants to do, I'm going to react on him. So the second that he lifts up, I'm going to lift up and accelerate and chase after him, try catch him. So as I said, about 1 meter space here, from the feet of the leader to the head of the follower. And Jake, when you're ready. Okay, so Jake's a bit too fast for me. I'm trying to catch him, use a good bit of space here, use the space on the field. And like I said, that leader can change direction, make me work to try and catch him. So you can do that again 1 to 2 times, a little bit more if you want to, just making sure that it's good quality work and you're working on 100% pace, 100% reactive work. The next exercise or drill that we're going to work on is the back pedal into acceleration and then deceleration. Again, an exercise that we would have performed in the previous block, but now we're going to add in that drop component to it. So dropping to the ground and having to get up and re-accelerate. So Jake, I'm going to get you here on this cone. Again, you can perform 1 to 2 repetitions here, 1 player at a time, before we add in some partner work. Okay, so Jake, I'm going to have you react on the ball here again. With the ball this time, what I'm going to do is drop the ball down for Jake to backpedal. And once he gets back about 10 meters, I'm going to lift the ball up for Jake to backpedal. And once he reaches about 10 meters, I'm going to drop the ball down for him to drop down. And then I'm going to lift the ball up for him to pop up off the feet, accelerate forward, and again I'm going to drop the ball down to decelerate. So Jake, you're going to backpedal, drop to the ground, accelerate, decelerate, but all on the movement of the ball. To the ground. Good. Accelerate. Perfect. Good. Okay. So coaches, you can use your own initiative there, whatever you want to do, but we want to incorporate in some accelerations, decelerations, but now adding in that drop to the ground component, just going to challenge the body a little bit more. So 1 to 2 repetitions there, 1 player at a time, allowing them to get that nice break, 1 to 2 minute rest in between. Nice explosive work. So the more effort that they're putting into the intensity of that, the longer they're going to need in break time. And also the distance plays a part there too. The longer the distance you're working across, the more rest time too. So how now we can incorporate a bit of a partner challenge in here to make it a little bit more reactive, make it a bit more challenging, make it a bit more fun, is to add in a partner challenge for the ball. So now what we're going to do is have 2 people here. So Jake, I'll just get you here. We would have another player beside Jake, and they're going to react on the ball movement. So when I lift the ball up, they're going to backpedal back. Once I drop the ball down, they're going to drop to the ground. Once I lift the ball up again, they're going to accelerate to me forward, but then I'm going to throw the ball in for them to contest with. Okay, so Jake, I'm not going to have you demonstrate that. Again, the coach can play around with that, use their own initiative there. But again, we're just trying to initiate the back pedal, the drop to the ground, the acceleration forward, and then just throwing the ball in for that contest of the ball. The winner of the ball then is just going to play the ball back to the coach so they can repeat it with the next 2 players. So just some ideas of how to incorporate in some partner work. The final drill then that we're going to incorporate is purely reactive. And it's again going to be 2 partners working together, and it's going to be an attack and defense situation. So now we've got that reaction, that acceleration forward. You're going to have a deceleration component as they approach the ball and try win the ball, and then they're going to turn around and try get that ball back. Okay, so just to give you a better idea of that, Jake and myself will compete for the ball. The coach can be back here behind us, whether it's the football or the slitter. We're looking straight ahead. We're ready to accelerate, so we're in that nice, strong, athletic position. Once we see that ball come between us, whether it's low, chest height, overhead, we're going to react and run forward. Try to compete for that ball. Once one of us wins the ball, they become the attacker, and the other becomes the defender on the way back. So just adding in now that partner challenge, making it a little bit more applicable to what we're doing on the field, but still getting those components in that we want, that acceleration, that deceleration, all reactive work. So that's it for today's speed and agility unit. We're now going to take it on to the technical skills unit.
During your technical skills unit, small-sided games are an ideal way of conditioning cardiovascular endurance. You can still use the previously recommended 4-minute bouts with 3-minute active recovery in between, and using that 3-minute active recovery to work on technical skills. but you are now encouraged to use larger area of space and involve greater numbers in the small-sided games. If, however, you are working with the older teenager and you feel they would benefit from more cardiovascular endurance work, at the end of your technical skills unit, you can include some repeated sprint efforts. You should use about a 90 to 95% intensity, and you can work across 4 to 6 repetitions on this with about a 20-second up to 2-minute rest recovery in between. That rest and recovery will be determined by the distance that you use. We would recommend 20 to 40 meter sprints. And it will also be determined by the levels of fatigue at this stage of the session. So increase the amount of rest that you use if fatigue is starting to set in.